All right, girl. So we're talking mothers and daughters here.
Okay.
We kind of have some experience in that. So one of the things I know for sure is moms do two things. They show us how to show up in the world as a woman, and they also teach us what we can expect from other women in the world. That being said, what is one thing that maybe you've always wanted to ask or say to me, or were afraid to say or ask me, that you've always wanted to?
Good or bad?
Whatever.
Well, I think something about you that is such a positive for me, but also could be maybe a little bit of a negative for me at the same time, is how strong you are and how boss you are. You know, like you get your shit done, and it's so inspiring, and it's inspired me to do the same, which I think I am at my age, like definitely following in your footsteps in that and doing it my own way. But I also think it freaks me out to trust anyone else with anything, because it's like, why trust someone when we can just do it ourselves? You know what I mean?
No. What do you mean by that?
Like, you don't really let anyone else tell you what to do. You run your business, you make it you, and it's all such a good thing. Like, it's all beautiful, and it's all beneficial to you. But then I look at it and I'm like, look at, she has no one holding her back. She has no one stopping that from happening. She has no other ears in her head telling her what to do or giving their influence on it at all. And I think that that's good for you, because I think that's obviously what you're choosing. But it also, for me, it has kind of shown me, like, no one else is going to be able to do what I can do, so why rely on anyone but myself? Which is good, but it's definitely hindered me in a sense of, like, trust issues, I would say, especially with other women, because you're the strongest, most powerful woman, and I don't want to ever let anyone or anything in my life that's not as equally as strong and powerful, and it's very hard to do.
Well, have you made good choices for friends?
I think in the last year, I've done the best wipeout and refresh of my life with the women I've surrounded myself with, 100%.
Did that have something to do with the influence I have on you?
I think that, honestly, I did that one on my own, because I got stuck in a really shitty situation where I had no other choice but me in that moment. Not saying you weren't there at all, because you always were, but obviously the circumstances and stuff, I think it was kind of like a fight or flight, like figure it out really quick. And I found this group of women, you know, my girl squad, that really lifted me, and they're all so different, and it actually shined a light on women in a positive way, whereas I've been literally almost like not a woman hater at all, but like doubtful of others women. Like, I've always thought they were more weak, in a sense of like, I have to do everything for me. I can't trust other girls to like bring me up.
So is that from watching me, kind of where you've picked that up?
Yeah, definitely, because I've also seen firsthand, like, your old friends treat you like shit and drop you when you get sober because you're boring, and like, you know, like, I've seen girls really do 180s, and like, they were my second moms too, you know what I mean? And it's just unattractive, and it's not something I ever want in my life. I never want to, like I said with your first question on what I'm afraid of, I'm always switching up, I'm always wanting something new, and if the people I surround myself with are going to judge that and drop me when it's weird to them, I don't fucking want that either.
Well, here's what I know. Switching it up isn't always a bad thing.
I don't think it is either, but people do.
Well, who are these people?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
do you care? At the end of the day?
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm very hesitant to pick those people that won't care, because I don't want friends that will.
But here's the thing, is people will come into our lives sometimes for a season, some for a reason, some for a lifetime. There's very few that will end up lifetime people. And choosing, you know, you have a beautiful gift of discernment, and instinctively knowing who's supposed to be around you at the time that they are. And knowing that this person is here to teach me something, even if they hurt me. All those people that you referred to, yes, they were part of my life and they were here to teach me something, and now they're part of the story's over. But because you are always like in that instinct of your own, it's actually a beautiful thing to keep switching it up, to keep moving from person to person. I think society today can frown upon that as though you're flaky, which that is something that people had said about you as a child, not me.
Yeah. No.
But other people have.
You always believed in me.
And you took that
So
label
great.
on as a negative. And actually you changing your mind and knowing in your gut who is supposed to be around me, what I'm supposed to be doing is actually a beautiful fucking asset. Don't second guess it.
Yeah.
And me, I mean, I'm 40 something now. I mean, if you could see, I had to rely on people at some point in my life, and all those experiences that weren't so great, whether it was my career or relationships, health, whatever, all those experiences made me who you're looking up to today. So embrace them, celebrate it, and never doubt that instinct you have. Yours is one of the strongest instincts I've ever met, and that discernment that you have to know that their part of my story's over, and there's nothing wrong with it, because it's going to lead you exactly where you want to go. That I know for sure.
Yeah. I know. It's just weird with what you said with the flakiness and all that. Like, it's almost like I feel like I have something at all times to prove. And I feel like you don't make yourself see. I feel like you're constantly trying to prove something to yourself, not to the world. And the world just gets to witness it. And I kind of feel like that's kind of what I do, too. Is like, I don't want to be flaky. I don't want to be the girl that's just a dreamer and not a doer, you know? I don't want to be any of that. I want to be this tough bitch that rocks it all the time. And
I'm here to tell you, you might think the world sees me as some tough bitch, but there are a lot that don't, and it doesn't matter. And there are some that are going to think you're flaky whether you are or not, and all of it's okay.
Yeah, because what people think doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Here's my rule. And I know you've heard me say this before, and this is what you need to remember whenever you want to go into that place that has you doubting yourself. Like, especially if somebody's throwing down advice or their opinion, like, would you trade places with them? There's probably 3 or 4 people in the world you'd actually trade places with.
That I personally know, yeah.
Right.
If that.
So, though, if it's not them, then thank you for your opinion. I appreciate you.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah.
And just keep moving. Keep trusting your instinct. It's solid. It's solid.
I agree.
Nailed it.